Why are we here? What we're doing here? Well, ultimately, believe it or not, there might have been this castle in Warrington, and this might well have been the largest motte-and-bailey castle in the county of Lancashire. But it was built in the 12th century. The historical records indicate that it was built in the 12th century. It was the largest motte-and-bailey castle in the county of Lancashire. It's over 1,000 motte-and-baileys and ringworks in total. And it's just absolute total domination by the Normans, essentially. So the little Saxons got squashed, I think it's fair to say. But with that, that's what we're talking about in Warrington. So we're here to really reveal Warrington's early history, but we need to be responsible about what we're doing, because otherwise, if people just turn up with their metal detectors or they start digging, it destroys the archaeology, and we definitely don't want that to happen. When I got baptized in St. Elphin's in 2007, he told these fantastical stories of the ancient Druid burial ground. My ears really pricked up for, oh, that's interesting. He told fantastical stories about the Romans, the castle being there. And I was just like, wow, is this really true? I developed my own profession as an artist and technologist. And then I started to look at Warrington again, and I started to remember the stories that the late Reverend Finley said. So that's where it came from. It actually came from oral storytelling. And then what we thought was, what if the remains of this castle were still in the landscape? And actually, although what we're referring to in this project at the moment is intangible heritage, it doesn't exist on the surface, there's actually really interesting clues in the landscape that you can actually look at the contours of the landscape, and you can see the fingerprint of the motte actually in the housing estate. And that's really, really interesting. So what we did, we started to do walking tours, we started to do community-based events, and we started to bring people in Warrington together to actually explore part of this forgotten history. Because if you're from Warrington, you might not know there was a castle here. And most people in Warrington don't actually know there's a castle here. I'm not sure how we've measured that, but I'd love to measure the number of people that actually know about the castle versus those that don't. And I would imagine it's a very low percentage. Probably, I'd say probably 80% of people don't know about a castle in Warrington. So what actually does the evidence suggest? So this is Hall's map that was made. I love this map because right in that top right hand corner, wow, you can really see that feature, can't you? That Mote Hill Castle there, as it was called. It's called Mote Hill, and the castle at Mote Hill